When the mighty fall, the earth listens, but this time, even the earth turned away. Hello family, before we start this intriguing story, we would like you to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified once we drop new story. Also comment the time you are watching this and country you are watching from. The thunder roared across Nogo Hill that night. In the largest mansion at the edge of the town, Chief Olaup, the man everyone feared and talked about in whispers, was gasping for breath. His skin, once shining like polished wood, now looked like it was draining into the ground. His body shook with every breath, but his voice was barely a whisper. Some said it was a stroke. Others said the ancestors had finally found him. The house help, ran out into the rain barefoot, screaming, "Call the hospital. Chief is dying." Many in town didn't even know Chief Olaup was still alive. For years, he stayed hidden behind tall gates, surrounded by guards and silence. His wife had left him. His children had moved abroad. But no one dared ask why he lived alone. That night, an ambulance screamed through the storm. At Nogu General Hospital, the doctors rushed to help. The nurses worked quickly, but one stood out, Mirembe, the young nurse known for her gentle hands and soft smile. She didn't care that it was Chief Olaup. She only saw a man who needed help. But when her hand touched his forehead, something strange happened. He opened his eyes and held her wrist tightly. "You," he whispered, voice dry like dust. "It's you?" Mirembe froze. She had never seen him before. "What do you mean, sir?" "Your eyes, just like hers." Before she could ask who hers was, the machines around him beeped wildly. The doctors pushed Mirembe aside and tried to stabilize him. Hours later, after he was calm again, the doctor in charge called Mirembe aside. "Mirembe, Chief Olaup asked for you." "Only you?" "But I don't know him. He says he trusts you. And honestly, he doesn't have long." Mirembe entered the room slowly. Chief Olaup looked weak, but his eyes burned with something strange. Regret. Hope. Fear. He asked her to sit. Then, with all the strength he had left, he told her something that made her heartbeat pause. "There's a village far from here. No roads, no names on the map. In that village, I did something many years ago. Something terrible." Mirembe frowned. "Sir, you need to rest." "No. Before I die, I must return what I took. A sacred heirloom, it belongs to them. If I die without making it right, they will never forgive me. The curse, it will spread." Mirembe didn't understand. "You mean your sickness?" He nodded. "It's not just sickness. It's punishment." She didn't know what to believe. But one thing was clear, this wasn't just about medicine anymore. As Mirembe left his room, her heart felt heavy. Why her? Why now? And what did he mean by, "your eyes, just like hers"? She went home, but couldn't sleep. A voice kept echoing in her ears, "Help me fix what I broke, before it's too late." Some wounds are not on the body. They live in the blood, and they wait. Mirembe couldn't sleep. Chief Olaup's words echoed in her mind like drums in an empty hall. "Your eyes, just like hers." But whose eyes? And why her? By morning, her heart was full of questions she didn't ask for. At the hospital, she expected the usual routine, but something had changed. Chief Olaup wasn't the same. His body was weak, but his eyes watched every move. As she cleaned his arm for another drip, he spoke slowly. "Mirembe, do you believe in curses?" She paused. "I don't know. I believe in prayer." He smiled bitterly. "Prayer cannot fix what I did." He pulled out an old chain from under his pillow. On it was a small, strange wooden carving, a lion with broken eyes. "This is the heirloom," he said. "But it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the people of Obuego. Long ago, I went there for business. They trusted me. I left with their treasure and never went back." Mirembe looked at the lion. It gave her a chill. "Why now, sir?" she asked. "Because I'm dying," he said. And they know. Every night, I hear the whispers. Sometimes. I see faces in the mirror. People I left behind. That night, after her shift, Mirembe walked past the hospital mirror and stopped. For a moment, she saw someone, standing behind her. A woman in white. Then gone. Was her mind playing tricks? At home, she sat with her grandmother, Mama Ngozi, a wise old woman with cloudy eyes but sharp memory. Mama, have you heard of Obuego? Mirembe asked. The old woman froze. Her spoon stopped halfway to her mouth. Why are you asking about that cursed place? Mirembe told her everything. The hospital. The heirloom. The request. Mama Ngozi slowly shook her head. That man is running from the past. Obuego is real. But the road is hidden. Not everyone who goes there returns. Mirembe swallowed hard. But, why did he choose me? Mama Ngozi looked at her deeply. Because your mother was from Obuego. The words hit Mirembe like cold water. What? But, you said she died giving birth to me in the city. Yes, Mama said softly. But her heart never left that village. Suddenly, the pieces started clicking. Her mother's eyes. Chief Olao's fear. The heirloom. Mirembe realized this journey wasn't just about helping a dying man, it was her story too. The next day, she walked into Chief Olao's room with trembling hands. I take you, she said. He smiled weakly. Then the path has opened. But a shadow moved under the hospital bed, something dark, watching, waiting. Some journeys are not taken with the feet, they begin with the soul. The morning was unusually cold. The clouds hung low over Nwogo Hill as if they, too, knew something big was about to happen. Mirembe stood by the hospital gate, her small travel bag in one hand, the lion carving in the other. She looked back one last time before the car pulled up. Inside was Chief Olao, pale, silent, but strangely at peace. They were heading to Obuego. But here's the truth, there is no road to Obuego on any map. The driver was a silent man named Sefiu, sent by the chief's old contact. He didn't speak much. His eyes were sharp, like someone who had seen things he could never explain. For hours, they drove through narrow paths, thick forests, and hills covered in fog. The trees grew closer. The air grew colder. Then the car stopped. We walk from here, Sefiu said. Chief Olao coughed hard, struggling to breathe. Mirembe helped him out slowly. She didn't know how he would survive the journey, but something in her heart told her this was more than a journey, it was a test. They followed a narrow footpath into the forest. Birds stopped singing. No wind. No sound. Then suddenly, the air shifted. A small gate appeared ahead, made from dark twisted wood. Symbols were carved into it, symbols Mirembe had seen before, in her mother's old diary. How is this possible? She whispered. Chief Olao whispered, we are close. But just as they stepped through the gate, a deep voice echoed from the trees. Turn back, or the truth will burn you. Mirembe froze. Sefiu's eyes darted around, but the voice came from nowhere and everywhere. Don't stop, Chief Olao whispered. They are testing us. The moment they crossed the gate, the forest changed. It was greener. Warmer. Almost alive. They reached a small village, quiet as a grave. Old women sat in silence. Children watched with wide, curious eyes. No one smiled. No one welcomed them. A tall elder approached. His name was Elder Juan, and his eyes were like mirrors. You have returned, he said, staring at Chief Olao. After 30 years. I've come to return what I took, Chief Olao said, holding out the lion carving with trembling hands. Elder Juan did not take it. Things are not that simple, thief, he said coldly. You cannot return what you broke with only your hands. You must return it with your spirit. He turned to Mirembe. And you, daughter of Dami? Why do you walk with the man who caused your mother's shame? Mirembe gasped. My mother. What do you mean? But Elder Juan only pointed to a small hut at the edge of the village. Go inside. The truth is waiting. Mirembe stepped forward slowly, heart pounding. She opened the door and stepped in. There, on the wall, was a painting of her mother, pregnant, standing beside Chief Olau. She turned to him. What is this? What did you do? Tears filled his eyes. I didn't just steal from the village, Mirembe. I stole your mother's trust. And left her behind with a secret I never claimed. Mirembe's knees gave way. She dropped to the floor. The lion carving began to glow faintly. The ancestors were watching. The truth was only just beginning. Blood may hide the truth for a season, but the spirit always remembers. Mirembe stood frozen in the hut. Her breath caught. Her eyes locked on the painting, the image of her mother standing beside Chief Olau, belly full with child, face filled with quiet pain. Chief Olau stood behind her, coughing hard, his knees trembling. Mirembe, he whispered. Your mother. Dami, she was the only woman I ever truly loved. But I betrayed her. Mirembe's voice cracked. How could you leave her like that? You had a child, me. And you vanished. He lowered his head. I was greedy. I came here chasing wealth. The villagers trusted me, your mother loved me, but when I was offered power, I chose gold over everything. He looked at her with tears in his tired eyes. I didn't know she was carrying you. I didn't even say goodbye. Outside the hut, the villagers were gathering. The whisper had spread. The child of Dami has returned. Elder Juan stepped inside the hut and looked at Mirembe. Your presence here is not by chance. The ancestor sent you. Mirembe was still shaking. Why me? The elder pointed to the lion carving in her hand. Because only a child of both bloodlines can return the heirloom to its resting place. It is not just a symbol. It holds a curse and a prophecy. He paused. The curse punished Olau, but the prophecy speaks of a child born from pain, who will bring healing or destruction. Mirembe blinked. Destruction. Suddenly, the door slammed open. Sefiu, the silent driver, rushed in, face pale. We have a problem. The lion carving, it's gone. What? Chief Olau shouted weakly. They ran outside. Villagers pointed to broken footprints in the dirt leading into the forest. Someone had stolen the sacred heirloom. Panic spread. The elders whispered in fear. Some began to chant. If the lion is taken past the gate, the curse will spread, Elder Juan said. Not just to Olau, but to this village, and to the child of the prophecy, Mirembe. She froze. What do we do? Elder Juan handed her a small calabash. This will guide you. But be warned, the thief is not just any man. He is sent by those who want the curse to live. Mirembe looked at Chief Olau, his face pale, leaning against the wall. I go, she said firmly. No, he gasped. It's too dangerous. But Mirembe turned to him with new fire in her eyes. You chose power over love. I won't make the same mistake. She ran into the forest, guided only by the glow of the calabash and her mother's spirit burning inside her. She ran past trees that whispered. She ran past shadows that laughed. And then she saw him, Sefiu. He wasn't just a driver. He stood holding the glowing lion, speaking in a language she didn't understand, and before her eyes, his face began to change. No longer human. His skin cracked. His eyes turned red. He was one of them, the keepers of the curse. Mirembe raised the calabash. It paused in her hand. The past never stays buried. But healing begins the moment we stop running from it. The wind howled through the trees as Mirembe faced Sefiu. But he was no longer Sefiu. His body was tall and twisted, his skin rough like bark, and his eyes glowed red with ancient rage. He held the lion carving in his hands like it belonged to him. You were never meant to touch this heirloom, the creature hissed. It belongs to the curse. Mirembe tightened her grip on the calabash. It pulsed like a heartbeat. I'm not here to fight you, she said. I'm here to end this. For my mother. For Chief Olau. For Obuego. The creature laughed. End. No, child, this is only the beginning. Your blood is the final seal. Suddenly, the forest around them began to shift. Trees moved. The ground trembled. Spirits, old, shadowy faces, appeared in the fog. The ancestors were watching. Chief Olau stumbled through the forest behind her, weak, gasping for breath, but determined. Mirembe, he cried. Don't do it. He wants your blood. Mirembe turned back to the creature. Then take mine, she said boldly. But first, look into the calabash. She lifted the calabash high. Light burst from it. The forest lit up like sunrise. And suddenly, all grew still. Sephiu screamed and dropped the lion carving. His body began to crack like dry earth, and the shadows that gave him life slipped away into the light. The heirloom rolled to Mirembe's feet. The lion's eyes, once broken, now glowed softly. Peacefully. Behind her, Chief Olau dropped to his knees. I'm sorry, he wept. To your mother, to Obuego, to you. Mirembe knelt beside him, her voice calm. You cannot change the past, Chief. But you can choose how it ends. They returned to the village. Elder Juwon welcomed them in silence. Mirembe walked to the center of the ancestral shrine and placed the lion carving on the sacred stone. The villagers began to sing. A soft wind blew across the land. The curse was lifted. Later that night, under the moonlight, Mirembe sat beside her mother's old hut. She looked at the stars. She thought about the pain, the betrayal, the fear, but also the strength it took to face them. Chief Olau passed quietly in his sleep that same night, at peace for the first time in years. In the morning, Elder Juwon stood before the village and spoke. Mirembe, daughter of Dami and of this soil, you have returned what was lost. You have ended what began in darkness. You are a healer, not just by profession, but by spirit. Mirembe smiled, her heart full. She had found more than answers, she had found her place. Moral lesson. Sometimes, healing starts not by forgetting the past, but by facing it with courage. Even the deepest wounds can be healed with truth, love, and forgiveness. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful African tales filled with wisdom and wonder.